Welcome to Automate with Amit. And in today's session, basically, we are going to learn about repositories and what is Git and what is GitHub and other remote repositories. So what are remote repositories and how do we work in collaboration, basically, because in a particular team, in any organization, we are not alone who are working on the same code. Correct. If I am creating any code or working on any particular code, then I'm not the only one who is working on that particular code. So there are a couple of more members, or there are sometime what happens, there are so many teams working on the same code. So how do they work? How do they share the same code? And where some team member is making some changes to the same code, and then it is making it available to all the members who are working on the same code. So how do they collaborate when they are working? Okay, so we are going to see that how does teams work in any particular organization. So we will be covering all those things today. So just a quick recap what we were learning last day. So it was like week 4, 5th day, and we learned about different pillars. We uh, like completed all the pillars. There are 4 pillars, so namely abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and inheritance. So we completed all of them, and now we are going to begin with new topic, which is Git and GitHub. So I just told why it is required. So we are in week 5th, day 1, and why we need Git and GitHub or repositories. Okay, so repository, what is repository? First of all, maybe you must be thinking, what is repository? So repository is just a place where we keep our whole code. So like for our case, so we are using IntelliJ IDEA to work on a particular code, right? So over here, what is this? We are working in our IntelliJ IDEA IDE. And what is IDE? Basically, where we write our code related to different projects we are working on. So we write code in there. Okay, so now you see, as I mentioned, that repository is just a place where we keep all the code related files. So like over here, over here we are editing, or we are working on the code files. Now how can we see where are the code files stored? So we need to go on file and just click on project structure. So okay, so once you click on project structure, you are seeing the place exactly where my code is stored. Okay, so this is some project which is stored over here. So I just have to, take this project name, and then I will be able to navigate to this place. Okay, so okay, so once you go on this path place, so here you can see what is the path of this. So you can just copy this place. This is the part where you can go, and once you go in your Windows Explorer, and you can paste here, and you will be landed upon that particular folder. Okay, so this is some project which is here, and over here if you see Eclipse workspace, so this is the place where all my projects have been stored. So you see this is what we were working on, right? So like 8 weeks Java challenge. So all my files are stored in here. Okay, so see all the Java files are here, operators, variable and data type. So what are we doing over here? We are storing my files in a in my local place, local folder, or I would say in my computer system, local computer system. So in here, if I am working in this project, then I do not have any way to share with anybody else. So how can I share this? So I can share this in multiple ways. Like I can like zip this file and share it with somebody else, maybe you guys, and you can take this particular zip file and eventually you can unzip it and start like you can import that particular zip folder and you can start working in your computer system. But the problem over there is once you open that and once you have worked over there, so worked some you have changed some files and you have done everything. Now in order to have those changes on my system, now again that process has to be there. Like they have to once they have worked on that particular code, now they have to again zip the file and then eventually share those files to me. But imagine right now I'm talking about only two persons. So one is zipping it and then another person is unzipping and then again including all the changes in their project. So like that it is happening. So once what happens, just let me go back in here on the paint. Okay, so basically what I told that whatever uh, so whatever local folders are there, okay, so in here whatever projects we store projects, once we store projects in my local computer system, then it is called local repositories. Okay, local repository, that means my project files are stored in local folders in my local system basically. Okay, so once this local repository, how can we if there are, let's suppose there are two members. Okay, so these two members, how they are working? So he is working on one particular project. Okay, these both persons are working on the same project. Okay, so let's suppose he has created one project, and now whatever project he has created, so he will see, okay, this is my version 1 of the project. Okay, once you take it, so he or she has taken it and now she has made some changes. Okay, so right now it has v1 or version 1 of this whole project. So now she has version 1 and now she has made some changes. Okay, she has made some changes and now she said, okay, this is the version 2, like whatever changes she did, now it is v2. Now he has v1 and she has v2 or version of different project. So why this version 2? Just because she has made some changes to the original project. Now in order to these both people work on the same version, what they need to do, they need to exchange the projects, right? So I told that how this person can exchange or I would say share the project. He can zip and then zip the folder and then send via email or maybe in any particular using he or she can put it in a shared folder. So from there she is going to unzip it and then include the some changes and made the version v2. Correct. Now what, in order to this person work on the same v2 version, what again he has to do? So she is also again going to zip this file and give it to, again zip this file and give it to this, and then once he is going to unzip it, and then he will be able to use v2 version of it. Okay, so like this, you see this continuous way, this will happen. Like he is unzipping, then zipping. So now, right now, I'm telling only about the two people. But how about if we have multiple people? Let's suppose this is the one, this is two, this is three, this is four. There are n number of people who are working on the same code. Now, problem becomes very prominent. Why? Let's suppose this person has created this code. Okay, now this is version 1. Like he has created a project and he has shared all the this project, this version of project with all of them. Okay, so now all of them has the same version. Now what will happen? This person has v1. Now everyone has v1 version. So now this also has v1. This person also has v1. This person has also v1. This person is also having v1 version, and this person is also having v1. Okay, now let's suppose he has made some changes. Now he has included some changes, and now he has v2. Now he has done some changes, and after that he has some v3, and he has some v4. Okay, and he has some v5. Okay, each one of them has worked on made some changes, and accordingly they have different versions, right? Because he must have changed in some other file. He must have changed some other file, and similarly she would have changed some other files. So there are multiple versions available now. So in order to merge all of this, like create a complete project, like a complete project, now everyone else has so many versions. So maybe this person has created one project. Let's suppose he was working on Facebook. Okay, now he has created the whole structure and shared all of them, and asked this person to create login functionality, this person to create post functionality, this person to create, let's suppose, reels functionality. This person was given to made some ads functionality. Okay, so likewise they have been given some certain tasks to complete that. So now each one of them has completed their work. This person has version 2, which includes login functionality. This person has v3, which is post functionality. This person has different, and this person has different. So this person got the task of like integrate Instagram. Okay, integrate Instagram with Facebook. So now he has written the code. Now everyone else has their own version. So how they can work together? So like each one of them, any one person will be there who is going to take all the versions. Like he is going to work v1, v2, v3, v4, okay, v5. So all the versions he has to take and merge all the versions together. So see how it is so much chaotic and hectic. So now how they are sharing, each one of them are sharing with zipping, then unzipping, zipping, then unzipping. So like that it is happening. And if by default or if by mistake any file got missed, then whole code is gonna be broken. So those kind of issues happens, and these all people are working on their local repositories. Okay, so I'm just writing local repo, and so they are working on local repositories. So what is local repositories? So local repositories are the files. When we keep our files in the local computer system, then it is called local repository. And repository is what? Repository is just the place where we keep all the files. So for example, over here we have kept all our project files. So this all are my this is all my repositories. So this is my we can say workspace, or we can say repositories. So this is my repositories, and there are multiple projects inside this repositories. Okay, so this is my local repository over here. So now to resolve this issue, like each one of them, and each one of them are working on their whole their own computer, and let's suppose this person gone missing, or this person gone missing, or some due to some reason his computer system got crashed. Okay, all the files are gone. So what will happen? This login functionality, we have to write it again, right? Okay, so we got my login functionality, or this person, whatever code he has written is gone. So what these kind of issues happen, and uh, to solve this kind of issues, we have remote repositories. Okay, so like here, what are remote repositories? So remote repositories are what? There is centralized place. Okay, it is central place where we keep the whole project. Okay, so like as I told, like over here there are so many people. Okay, so they all are working on the same project. So what will happen? This is, let's suppose this person has created the structure of the project. Okay, initial structure of the project. Okay, let's suppose he was working on Facebook, so he has created v1. Okay, he has written some code for Facebook. Now he has uploaded that particular project into this remote repository. So what is remote repository? It's a centralized we can say server where we keep whole my project. So all the project, and then from here all of them can simply, I have to put this code or this whole project inside this remote repository, and now I have v1. Okay, now my v1 or version 1 of my code is available over here. Now what will happen? These all persons are going to take the code from here. Now they all have v1. Okay, now these people also have taken v1, and now they started working on their own functionalities whichever have been assigned. Okay, so now this person is working on login, this person is working on post, this person is working on ads. Okay, this person is working on ads, this person is working on reels. Okay, this person is working on Instagram. Okay, this person is working on let's suppose any other feature of Facebook. Okay, so let's suppose he is working on what? Marketplace. Okay, so these all persons are working on different features of Facebook. Now he has completed his task, and now he has v2. So now immediately what will happen? This person has completed his task. Okay, so now he has v2. So what he will do, he is going to check in, or push this particular code inside here. So he is going to update this. Okay, so reels are going to be updated, and with this we are going to have v2 over here updated. Okay, so now rest of these people have v2 only, and but now central server or central place where exactly we have kept all my updated code is available in here. So from here what will happen? This person has checked in his changes in here, so what he will say in the team communication, maybe whatever communication they are channel using, maybe if they are using Teams. So in Teams channel, he will say, okay, I have checked in the code. Okay, so I'll let you know what is checked in, or push the code in a remote repository. Okay, a remote repository. Please take latest code. Okay, so latest code is now available. So latest code is what? V2, this version 2 with changes. So whatever changes V1 was, and on top of that, he has written the code for implementing Reels functionality, and now V2 is available over here. So what will happen? These all people are going to take latest. So they are going to take latest, and they, whatever functionality they were working on, it's already there on their local repository. Okay, but they are going to have this latest code. Okay, so once they are going to take latest code, so all of them are their local repository is going to get updated with V2. Okay, so now they are having V2. So this person is also going to have V2. These all persons are going to have V2, 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 and all the V2. Okay, so now each one of them, what they are doing, they are working in sync, correct? So they are working in sync. So whenever any other person is there who has implemented, let's suppose this person is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this person is 4, this person is 5, and this person is 6. Now person, 1, 2, 3. So this person has completed, person 1 has completed the login functionality. Now he has gone to check in this code back into this remote repository. Now this remote repository has been updated with V3. Okay, so now this is having V3. Okay, so now this V3 is available on, in here, and V3 is available in here. So again, the same, this V1 person 1 will say, okay, I have checked in new functionality, please take latest. So everyone else is going to take the same code on their system. So again, they all of them are going to take the latest code, and their local repository or local project is going to be updated with the latest changes. So like that, what is happening? They are all are working in sync, and in this way, what will happen? They will be able to, work in one team where they all are working together, and they are working like creating the project files on their own local systems. But at the same time, once they are done, they can push the codes on a central server or a remote repository, and from there, rest of the team members can take the latest code and start working on the tasks they were working on. Okay, so this is what is the structure called. This is what the structure is called: repository, local remote, local and remote repositories. So now local repository, what is local repository? So and a remote repository. So what are different examples of remote repositories? So we have GitHub. Okay, so it is the place where it is kind of central server where we get all our all the places where you can get the um, place to store your project files, so that each of the team members uh, can work together. Okay, so in if they wanted to work in here, so they can work. Now local repository. So example of local repository is Git. Okay, so what Git does, Git basically creates different versions Okay, so like if you remember, we had created different versions of the code. So like if anybody else is making some changes and then it becomes version 3, like that person has different code altogether. So it is a versioning system. So this V1, V2, V3 is called versioning system. Okay, so what is versioning system? It is basically whenever we have a different change, or when we have, let's suppose this is my first code which I have written, so I can name this as version 1. So like okay, and once anybody else has made some changes, I can say that this is my V2. And when somebody else has made the changes, so I can say that this is my V3. So why this versioning is required? Because let's suppose working in here, we are at version 4. Now I found some issues. Okay, maybe some defect, some bug is there, or some functionality issues has happened. So what I can say, or what I can do, I can go back in version 3 code where I did not put any changes in here in version 4. So I can go back and see what what changes exactly I did, and how this is making what changes are making this particular defect, okay, or functionality break. So if in case any functionality is not working, then what has, or which particular part of code has caused that issue, we can track that. So that's why this versioning is required. And this Git is basically versioning, we can say versioning tool is there. So this is also used to do the versioning. Okay, so it keeps track of your changes, keep track of changes you make in your project. Okay, so versioning is what? Keeping track of changes in the project, in project. Okay, so this is called versioning. Now we got to know that this is GitHub is a remote repositories. Okay, there are other remote repositories like Bitbucket. Okay, this is also there, or Git Lab is also there. Some companies use GitHub, some companies use Bitbucket, some companies use GitLab. Okay, so but Git is most popular local repository, or I would say versioning system. Okay, so there are multiple ways of or I would say different types of versioning is there, but I'm not going in the detail right now. Okay, so I would just tell very fast what is versioning. So when we are making changes in our local system, so first example which I told, that everybody else is working on their local system, like on in the form of folders only. Okay, so like they are zipping it and then sending to some other person, and then that person is unzipping it and then working it, and then working, and then further after working, then zipping it and then giving it to different person. So this particular way of uh, working is called local versioning. Okay, local versioning, where we are not using any central server or central place to keep our files, where let's suppose we have named over here FB. Okay, so this is my Facebook. I said that V1. So what I'm doing, I just zipped this file, and this person has made some changes, and now this person named this particular file as V2. Okay, now this person has also changed something, and this person has made or renamed this FB version 3. So like what we are doing, we are keeping all the files on the local system. So this is called local versioning. Okay. And then again, what is the second one? So this is local versioning, which is first one. Okay, so now second is, so just I'm writing here versioning. So first is local versioning. Okay, second is centralized. Okay, centralized versioning. So what is centralized basically? So the example, second example I told, that is like there is one central server. Okay, and in this place there are other people who are working, and whatever is the code, they all are working, they push over here, and then if somebody else has to take care of, then or somebody else, let's suppose this person was working on v2 v1 and he has pushed the changes over here. Now this person has taken the latest v1 and eventually pushed v2. So now central server is v2. Now this person has taken v2 and work changed to v3. Like that they are working together. But what happens, what is the issue with this kind of thing is, what about if this particular server uh, has some issues? Okay, maybe the place where this particular server is kept, this server got corrupted. So corrupted, what will happen? They all will lose their whole code. Okay, like this person is not going to have a way to change or to work on the latest code. So to remove or to avoid this kind of issues, we have third is uh, we have this third type of version. Okay, so which is this distributed. Okay, so this is called distributed versioning. So what is distributed? Okay, so I will just pull this article over here. So if you see, there are local versioning is also there, but it is not mentioned over here. So centralized, and another one is distributed. So what happens in centralized version control? So with centralized version control, you have a single central copy. So that's what I told. So you have single central copy. So this is centralized server where you are going to have one single source of copies, single copy of your whole project, and they all are working on that source. So if source gets some issue, then you are going to be in trouble. So their whole project is going to be lost. So there is chances. So on a server, and commit your changes in this central copy. You pull the files that you need, but you never have a full copy of your project locally. Okay, so it's like what happens in here, you continuously like working on this place itself. So whatever code is here, you are making changes in this place itself. Okay, so you are connected with your computer to this place, and you have this copy, and everybody else is working in here itself. Okay, they are connected from this place. So in case there is some issue in this centralized server, then all the project is gone. So that is the issue with this type of centralized version control. Now to resolve this issue, we have distributed version control. Okay, so what happens in distributed version control? So now what will happen? They all are working on the centralized code itself, here itself. They don't have their own code. Okay, so now they are working on some different changes, but they don't have their own code. So we have this to resolve this issue, we have distributed versioning. Okay, so what is that? Now every one of else is going to have the whole copy of the project. Okay, so the whole copy of the project means now they are going to have project on their local system as well and the centralized system as well. Okay, so what is the so here what happens in distributed mode? You have one central repository, or it is called remote repository. Okay, and then whatever copy of code is here, so this person has its own computer. Okay, so or let's suppose this is its own laptop. So this person also has the same copy of the project. So one project is kept over here, the whole copy of project is kept over here, and this person is also going to have the whole copy. Now this is called local repository. Okay, this is called local repository, and on this particular local repository he has the place where he works on the project. So if he has to make some changes in this place in the central repository, he is going to work in here. Maybe this is my IntelliJ idea. Okay, IntelliJ, where I am working to change some part of code. Okay, so once I make the code changes, now what I have to do, I need to push my code or commit my code in my local repository. Okay, so once I push my code on the local repository, now it is in the local repository. And once I have this local repository, all the changes in my local repository, I can push the code in the central or remote repository. So this process is called push. Okay, when we are pushing the code from local repository to the remote repository. And when I am making changes, or I have made changes and I pushed my changes in local repository, then it is called commit. Okay, so like I would say whatever code changes I made, now I have committed that changes into my local repository. That means now whatever changes was there on my local copy, so this is called local copy of the project. Okay, local copy of project, so on which I am working on. So I'll show that too. Okay, how this local repository is created, remote repository is created, and local copy, I'll show that too. So over here, this is the local repository. Okay, so once I make whatever changes I made in my local copy, once I like commit the changes in the local repository, my local repository is going to have all the changes which are there in my local copy. And once I have all the changes in local copy, I can push the changes, or I can push the changes of whatever code changes I made. I can push that changes into remote repository. And if there are n number of persons, so they are also going to follow the same path. So like this is their working copy, working. So maybe, I mean, you can take working copy or working directory. Okay, working copy or working directory, or it can be called local copy. Okay, so it local copy of project. Okay, so each one of them is going to have their own working directory or local copy or of project, and then they are going to have one local repository or local repo in short, and then they are going to have this central repository or remote repository. So when he now how did we solve that centralized server? Now each one of them are having their own copy of the project. Now if this particular, let's suppose this particular remote repository is not working, but still he has whole project available in the local repository. Now, if this does not work, then also he or she can take changes from his or her distributed or central or remote repository. So he can take changes from remote repository. Now, if he has this working directory and somehow this does not work or has some issues, so he can delete this working directory and take copy of local repository from here. So now you see all the way we have avoided the danger of project loss. Okay, now in case any place this issue happens, still the whole project is safe. Okay, so it is if this place is not working, then this local repository is there. If local repository is not there, then distributed repository is there. Okay, and in case this local working and local repository is also not working, then also this remote repository is there from where working copy of or your project can be pulled. Okay, so now let's go on one thing on some naming conventions. Okay, so this is my remote repository. Okay, and in here, this is my local repo. Okay, and this is my working copy, or I can say local or working copy or local not local, it'll be confusing. So only working copy. So this is working copy where actually I'm making changes. Okay, and this is the local repository where I have, after working, I have kept all my changes available. Okay, so when we are putting all my changes from working copy to local repository, it is called commit. Okay, so like now I am committing my changes. So that means whatever working copy was there, now I have put all my changes in my local repository. And once all the changes are available in the local repository, I can say this is, I have pushed the changes into remote repository. So when I'm saying that, okay, I have pushed my changes, that means pushed my changes means whatever changes which were available in my local repository and those were not available in the remote repository, now I pushed my changes, or whatever changes were there, I put my changes from local repository to my remote repository. Okay, now let's take reverse. So from remote repository, now if I have to take latest or whatever latest code is there, let's suppose. Okay, I mean, there is some person who has made some changes in remote repository with the same process. So like he also has a working copy and he also has this local repository, and then this is a remote repository is there. So he has committed these changes, committed changes from working copy to local repository, and then pushed changes to commit local repository to remote repository. Now this remote repository is available with the latest changes. Now this person, what this person is going to do, he want latest code. So to take latest code, what we do, we take latest. So basically, I mean, in general terms, what we say, I am going to take latest. That means I am going to take latest code. Okay, so when we take latest code, it is called pull. Okay, so pull means I am going to take latest, I am going to take all the changes in my local repository, and from local repository I can it is going to be available by default in my working copy, and eventually I can work in my Okay, so on my working copy. So these three terms are very important. So commit, then push, and then pull. Okay. So with this, we are going to see next thing, which is here. So with this, so what is the process basically? So we are working on IntelliJ idea, right? IntelliJ or IDE. Okay. So from our IntelliJ, basically we are going to create one Git repository. So Git repository is what? Local repository. Okay. So local repository. So from Git repository, we are going to, so we have committed our changes into Git repository or local repository, and then we are going to push our changes from Git repository to a remote repository. So what is my remote repository which I am going to use? I am going to use GitHub. So this is also very confusing question sometimes. So what is GitHub? GitHub is remote repository, and what is Git? Git is a local repository. Okay, so let's see what is GitHub and what is Git. How does GitHub looks like? Okay, so for that, if you want to go on GitHub, so I am just going on GitHub. So here is my repository right now. Okay, so here are many repositories I have already. So in order to, let's suppose if you want to create a new one. So maybe if you go GitHub, not automate with Amit. Okay, so if you open for the very first time, then this is going to appear like this. Okay, so in that case, you have to sign up. So once you click on sign up, then this page is going to appear. So you have to put your, okay, so you are going to put your email. So you just have to give your email here. Okay, so you can give any email and just click on continue. So maybe I am, okay. Okay. Okay, so if I have given this and click continue, so this is email is or already taken. It's fine. So once you log in, like once you sign up, you are going to land up upon something like this. Okay, so this logo and all will not be there. So once you come here, then what is there? You can click on repositories. Okay, so how to create the repositories? For that, you have to click on repositories, and I think it's not signed up. That's why it is giving me some. Okay, so once I signed in, so I clicked on this repository. Okay, so once I click the repository, I need to click on this new. Okay, so this new, and then the repository name. So whatever repository name I wanted to give, I can give over here. So for that, let's suppose I am going to push my changes for this particular project. Let me open my particular project. So here, my recent project is, let's suppose I wanted to give this AWA 8 weeks Java challenge. Okay, so over here I have opened. So it is opening right now. Okay, so once it is opened, okay, so it is open right now. Okay, so let's suppose I wanted to give this name itself, AWA 8 weeks Java challenge. Okay, just taking the name. Okay, so now over here, if I so I have given the repository name over here. Okay, and this is available. So now just I have given the repository name, and I am going to create public repository. So public repositories are free, and anyone else can commit into this. So you can choose who can commit into it. So this is what, just you need not to do anything else. Just click on create a repository. Okay, so now you see you got you have one remote repository created. So this is AWA 8 weeks Java challenge, which is remote repository created in here. Okay, and this is what, this is the remote repository URL. Okay, so GitHub URL or Git URL, you see this .git. Okay, so I can copy this, and this is the most used, or I would say this is the used very useful URL. And if somebody is going to share you this, then you can take latest of the project or clone the project on your machine. So I'll just explain cloning also. What is cloning? So I have to copy this. So I copied here, and just I need to go in here and okay, so I need to go in here, and you see over here this Git. Okay, so in case this is not coming, just you have to go and settings. Okay, so usually it comes, but in case this is not coming over here, you can go in here plugin and just check Git. Okay, so this is Git GitHub. So this is GitHub, which is here in my case. It is already connected with this. So you need to install this GitHub on your IntelliJ machine, IntelliJ IDE. Okay, so rest, I think you need not to do anything. Fine. So this basically comes inbuilt. This Git is coming inbuilt. So what you can do, you can click in here in the Git. Okay, so right now you see this is master. So I'll just explain what is master, what is branches in upcoming session, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so right now what we are going to do, we are going to push our changes in my local repository. Okay, so if you see over here in the commit here, if I go, so what are the changes? You see it's all the 20 files are there which are available, which have got the changes. So right now what is here, I don't have any files available on my remote repository. So on my remote repository, I do not have any file available. Okay, so I am going to push this files, push this particular project in here in the remote repository. So now what I am doing, I have included all the changes. So you can you can select which file you want. Okay, so because I am committing this change or pushing these changes for the very first time, that's why I have included all the changes. Okay, and here you can give the commit message. Okay, so there are two things. You see, if you can do commit also. So once you do the commit, you will be able to see that committed over here in the master branch. Okay, I'll explain this also, what is branching and what is master and slave branches and all those things. But whatever message you wanted to give related to whatever commit you are doing, maybe whatever changes you have done, so I can give that first uh, first time code commit for 8 weeks Java project. Okay, so now I have given whatever my message was, and I can simply click on commit. Okay, so it is checking, and it is committing. So once it is committed, it is going to be available in my local Git repository. Okay, so you see it is analyzing the code. It will take a moment, and once it is done, it will be available in my local repository. So right now we don't have any code available, but you see commit contains problems. So review code analysis. So in case you have some issues, you can just check. Otherwise, you can. Okay. So now I can see that this is my first time commit, which is available over here. Okay. So I can see that this is available over here, and my whole code is available in here. So now what I can do, I can push this code, this branch, or whatever local repository is here, whatever code is available in my local repository, directly into the branch in the remote repository. Okay, so I have two ways. So either I can right click over here and click on push. Okay, so you see this is local repository. Okay, I can just right click and click on push. So in that way, it is going to ask me some details. Okay, so define, it is saying that define remote. Okay, so that means we are going to push the code, but where is the remote repository? So what is the remote repository? Where exactly you wanted to commit, you wanted to push these changes? So where is remote repository available? So it is asking for that. So just I clicked on remote repository, and the URL which we copied from here, you remember this is, so this copied URL you have to put in here. Okay, and you have to click OK, and it is going to verify. And once it verified, it is saying that whatever you had given the comments, you can see over here, and just you have to click on push. Okay, so it is pushing the code into the remote repository, and now log into GitHub. So okay, so it is saying that okay, so it is saying that log into GitHub. So you need to give, in order to push the changes in your GitHub account or remote repository, you need to give the I mean, you need to log in. So you can so here I need to give some. So I have to, either you can take the, just a moment. So report token. Okay, so I am giving this token over here. So once I given the server name, which is github.com, it has automatically taken, and token I have generated from there. Okay, it is saying that it is incorrect credentials. So let me see. Okay, so once I have given this token, so it is now pushing my changes into the, okay, into pushed master to new branch, origin master. So now if you see over here, what is this remote? It is telling that remote also has your master. Okay, so now my remote repository is also having the same branch, and this local also is having same branch. Okay, now if I go in here, okay, in here, and I just refresh this, then I will be seeing all the files which I had pushed from here is going to be available in here also. So I just refreshed, and you see it got available, right? So we are seeing all the first time commit code commit for 8 weeks Java project. So all the project files are available over here. So we can see on SRC, we can see all the available files are here, operators. So we can see the code also. Okay, so whatever we saw over there is available over here also. So this is how we push our changes in the remote repository. Okay, so now let's suppose you wanted to take the latest. So how not take the latest, but if um, anybody else who wanted to take the project now, as a project designer, maybe a project architect, I had created first version of the project. So this is maybe this is my first version of the project. Now what you can do, you guys can do, if you also wanted to work on this, so or you wanted to take the latest of this code on your system. So if you wanted to take this code on your system, then it is called cloning. Okay, so you wanted to clone the project. Okay, so how are you going to clone the project? So in that case, you are required to have this particular URL. Okay, so I'll share this. Once you get shared this particular URL, so what will happen? Let's suppose you wanted to take the latest, take this particular file. So now now if you wanted to take the project in your computer system, whatever project is available on the remote repository. Okay, so now you can click on this file, okay, and click on new. And from here, if you see, you have multiple options. So like project from existing sources, project from version control. Okay, so this you have to select project from version control. So once you click this, so you are going to get multiple repositories URLs. So if you have not connected with your you have not created the remote repository in your GitHub file, GitHub repository, that is also fine, but you need to give that particular same URL in here, and you need to you have to select the path where exactly you wanted to copy this whole project. Okay, so once you clone this particular or put the directory where exactly you wanted to put, so in that case, what you can do, you can let's suppose I am creating this new project directory or new directory over here, so that I can give demo. So this is demo like pull. Okay, not pull, but push. Sorry. So let demo clone. I would name this demo clone AWA _ 8 weeks Java. Okay, so I have named this and clicked on OK. So I have just created this. So I am going to use this particular directory. Okay, so I have clicked on OK. So I am going to take this particular project in this particular directory. So I just clicked on clone. Okay, once I clicked on clone, then it is going to copy, see, cloning sources repository from there. Now, if you see, I go in my project, see, it has opened this particular project over here. Okay, so this is how you are going to take the code which is available on the remote repository, and this process is called cloning. Okay, cloning means you are taking copy of the project from remote repository on your local repository. Okay, so that is it in this particular session. So we are going to see multiple things like how so right now what we saw just how we can push our code in. So how can we push our code or commit our code from IntelliJ to Git repository or local repository, and from local repository to remote repository. And also we saw how we can take clone, or how we can clone the project Okay, project from remote repository to local repository, or okay, so local repository or on our local system. Okay, so we saw this these two. I'll share the URL with you, and you can take the latest, take the or you can create, you can clone this, and we can work on this further. Okay, so that was all in this particular session, and I hope this is going to be useful. And in case any questions, do let me know. We will try to resolve that. And in next session, we are going to see many more things related to Git things. Okay, so thank you for joining this session.